AITA for telling my family no after they demanded I give my savings to my sister. I never thought saving money would make me the villain. Like, imagine torturing yourself for 6 years straight only to be told, cute effort, babe. Now hand it over to someone who didn't do any of that. Yeah. Welcome to my family. My name is Mila, 25. Chronic overachiever, undersupported daughter, part-time cleaner, part-time waitress, part-time kid who's supposed to magically fix generational poverty and trauma by being quiet and grateful. I know. Glamorous. Growing up, my parents always told me the same line. You work hard. You get rewarded. Which is funny because apparently the reward was supposed to go to someone else. See, my house wasn't abusive, but it wasn't supportive either. It was that sneaky kind of emotional environment where love came with strings. Like a subscription service where you owe monthly repayment in loyalty, silence, and guilt-soaked obedience. I learned early that if I wanted something, I better find a way to earn it. No gifts. No safety nets. At 18, while other kids were figuring out eyeliner and relationships, I figured out alarm clocks at 4:45 a.m. and bus schedules and how to smile at customers who treated me like furniture, cleaning offices at dawn, wiping, tables until my wrists ached, delivering, food in the snow because rent doesn't care about hypothermia. And every time I dragged my exhausted self home, smelling like bleach or fryer oil, I'd hear my parents' favorite mantra floating in my head like a screensaver. We'll help you with university one day. Save your energy. Sure. Spoiler. They meant emotionally, not financially, which is a cute way of saying not at all. Meanwhile, I'm hunched over my cheap online courses, planning a future nobody thought I deserved but me. I wasn't loud about my dreams. Didn't whine. Didn't complain. Didn't guilt trip. I just worked. Quiet grind. Quiet pain. Quiet progress. Every paycheck had a ritual. Rent, food, transport, cheap phone plan. And then whatever was left went straight into a secret nest egg. A little survival treasure box labeled, get out, study, build a life. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't like bitter or anything. Actually, I was proud. Weirdly proud. It felt like leveling up in a game where everyone else spawned with armor and I spawned with a mop. Every night I'd lie awake from caffeine and stress and whisper, one day, you'll leave. You'll study, you'll breathe. 6 years later, I had enough saved to survive while studying abroad. Not thrive, just survive. Ramen, cheap housing, bargain bin life, but still life, a future, a chance I never bragged. I never rubbed it in anyone's face. Hell, I barely even acknowledged it to myself. Because saying it felt dangerous. Like the universe would go, oh, you think you deserve happiness? Bet? And just when I finally thought, I made it, I did it. Freedom was real, not just a fantasy. My family found out, and that's when everything went to hell. If you've ever worked your butt off in silence, you know the emotion. That tiny, fragile bubble of hope. Like, maybe this time life won't slap me for trying, so yeah. I'm riding that high. University approved. Scholarship secured. Housing found. Bank account isn't cute, but it's breathing. Like wheezing but alive, then the dinner, not Christmas. Not a birthday. Just one of those random family gatherings where everyone pretends we're wholesome and emotionally stable for 3 hours straight. The kind of evening where the food is good, but the emotional climate is toxic. Classic. We're all at my parents' house. Cheap wine. Too many forks on the table for no reason. My sister's toddler smashing peas into the carpet while everyone goes, aw, he's so smart. Me? Smiling, nodding, chewing like my jaw is on autopilot. And then, the moment. My dad, bless his oblivious heart, decides he wants to flex about how proud he is. Which would be sweet, if he didn't casually throw my entire financial status into the middle of the table like a grenade. He goes, and I quote, well, when Mila goes abroad with all that money she saved, time stops. You know those movie scenes where a character drops their glass in slow motion? Yeah, that was my soul. I feel everyone's head snap toward me. And my sister. Her eyes lit up like someone just told her there's free Wi-Fi and free government money. She says instantly, no breath, no thinking. You saved money? Why didn't you say anything? Me in my head? Maybe because I didn't want to be your financial plan B? But I just awkward laugh. Like an idiot. Oh, yeah. Just working a lot, saving. Then she hits me with it. Zero shame. Zero hesitation. You should give it to me. I have a child. You can move back here. Mom and Dad will take care of you. That money should help the family. And my parents nod. Nod. Like it's the most normal request on earth. My mom jumps in. She's right. Your nephew needs stability. You're young. You can study later. My dad. It's selfish to keep that money when there's a baby in the family. And I'm just sitting there like hell. No. It felt like someone ripped open my ribcage and squeezed. Because it wasn't just about money. It was the betrayal. The entitlement. The expectation that my dreams were negotiable. Like I was a savings account with legs. And suddenly I'm not their daughter with ambitions. I'm a resource they want to redistribute. My voice cracked, but I still said it. No, I'm not giving you the money. I worked for it. For my future. For school. This isn't happening. Silence. Then heat. My sister explodes like a volcano with Wi-Fi. You selfish, heartless brat. I'm a mother. I need it more. You don't have real responsibilities. My mom starts crying. My dad calls me ungrateful. They're tag-teaming guilt, like it's the Olympics. You would let your nephew suffer? You think you're better than us now? We gave you life. How can you do this to family? Meanwhile, I'm shaking. Hands trembling. Stomach tight. That weird ringing in your ears when stress goes nuclear. I try to breathe. I try to be calm. But my voice breaks. I am not sacrificing my future because you made bad choices. Boom. You'd think I slapped a priest in church. My sister screams. My mom gasps. My dad's face goes red like a tomato with anger management issues. Nobody asks how I survived 6 years of grind. Nobody asks why I didn't ask for help. Nobody cares what it cost me. They just want the rewards. And right there, in the middle of that suffocating room, I realized something ugly. To them, my life isn't mine. It's a family resource. The moment I saw that clearly, something snapped. I grabbed my bag. Didn't even say goodbye. Walked out shaking so hard I felt like I was made of glass. Their voices followed me to the door. Selfish. Disgraceful. You'll regret this. Maybe. But I wasn't giving them my future. Cue car scene. Dark street. Me gripping the wheel like it's keeping me alive. Choking back sobs because suddenly being strong feels so heavy you can barely breathe. And in the silence of that car, heart racing, eyes burning, I knew one thing. If I stayed in that house emotionally or financially, I'd never leave, and I'd never forgive myself. Fade. Walking out of that house felt like stepping off a cliff. You know that weird emotional dizziness? When your body is still in fight mode, but your soul is just tired? That was me. Shaking, cold, adrenaline flooding my veins like a bad drug. I didn't cry right away. I sat in the car, keys in my hand, staring at the steering wheel like it was supposed to give me answers. And then it hit me, that familiar childhood punch in the stomach. What if they're right? What if I really am selfish? That's the thing about family guilt. It doesn't walk in the room quietly. It smashes the door and sits on your chest. I kept hearing their voices echoing in my head. You're young. You can wait. Your nephew needs it more. We raised you. You owe us. And then the cherry. You think you're better than us now. That one always stings, right? Like ambition is arrogance. Wanting more equals betrayal. Dreaming equals disrespect. Where I'm from, you're supposed to survive, not escape. I drove home on autopilot. No music. No thoughts except that dull ache behind the eyes you get when your emotions are bruised. The moment I walked into my tiny apartment, it was like the silence hugged me and punched me at the same time. You know when a place is quiet but your brain is screaming? Exactly that. I put my bag down, sat on the floor because chairs felt too formal for a breakdown. And then it all cracked, ugly crying. Shoulders shaking. Hands over my face. Not graceful movie tears. The kind where grief and anger make your lungs feel small. 6 years. 6 years. Not one person in that room remembered my sacrifices. Not one person said she worked for it. She earned it. To them, I was the selfish one, and that hurt more than anything. Phone buzzes. Of course it does. Trauma always has perfect timing. Text from mom. You embarrassed us. Come back and talk like an adult. Classic. Translation? Come apologize for defending yourself. Then another. We're family. You don't turn your back on family. Then my sister. You disgust me. You're punishing my child for being born. Then a voice message. 3 minutes long. Didn't listen. Couldn't. Then my dad. When you needed us, we were there. Now we need you, were they? Were they there? Because all I remembered was, you're strong, you don't need help. You'll manage. You're the smart one. You're independent. Independence is interesting, right? It always sounds like praise until the moment someone wants to use you. Then suddenly independence becomes selfish. It's wild how quickly you're so mature turns into you owe us everything. I turned off my phone. Let it buzz itself into exhaustion. I lay on the floor staring at the ceiling. And in that moment, clarity cut through the fog like a knife. If I go back, if I give in now, I'll never get out again. They didn't want help. They wanted ownership, and I realized something ugly and freeing. My family doesn't love me for who I am. They love me for what I can provide. It felt like swallowing glass, but once it's down, you breathe. I wiped my face. Sat up slow. My chest still hurt, but my voice in my head was steady. No one is stealing my future because they wasted theirs. That night I didn't sleep. I just laid there planning. Not out of fear anymore, but out of determination. If they want to call me selfish, fine, better selfish than sacrificed. Tomorrow I pack. Tomorrow I move forward, tonight. I grieve what I thought family meant, fade out. Next morning, alarm goes off like usual. Except there's no time to go grind energy. There's just that weird, vibrating anxiety sitting in my stomach like a brick. I roll over. Phone lights up. 48 messages. 6 missed calls. 3 voice notes I will never listen to because mental health matters, babe. Group chat renamed to Family Emergency. Mila ruined everything. Which, honestly, bold marketing choice. First text from my sister. You're dead to me. Second one. Just kidding, but seriously, you're heartless. Then, you won't survive without us. Cute. Like I wasn't already surviving without them this whole time. My mom sent the holy trinity of guilt messages. We didn't raise you like this. Grandmother is crying because of you. God sees everything. Yeah. Well, so do bank apps, and mine says I worked for that money. Thanks. Dad tries the pride angle. You're being manipulated by ambition. Ambition. Yeah, that terrible disease where you don't want to rot in the same 4 blocks your whole life. Tragic. I stare at the screen like it's a museum exhibit labeled, How to Weaponize Emotional Obligation 101. For a minute, doubt crawls in again. Because family drama hits you in the soft spots you thought healed years ago. What if I am the villain? What if chasing a better life makes me ungrateful? What if I lose everyone, but then this tiny rebellious voice in my brain just goes, actually no. Let's not do this storyline today, because here's the thing they always forget. I didn't abandon them. I just stopped volunteering to drown, and honestly, that realization tasted delicious. Like freedom has flavor and it's slightly salty and spiteful. I get up. Make coffee that tastes like battery acid, but it keeps me alive. Open my laptop. Start looking at flights, orientation dates, apartment move-in instructions, and as I scroll, something shifts. I feel proud, like actual pride. Not the prove I'm worthy kind. The I saved myself kind. And I swear I could breathe just a tiny bit easier, until my phone rings. Again. I pick up this time. It's my aunt. The calm one, the family Switzerland. She whispers like we're in some mafia movie. I don't agree with them. You worked. You earned it. Don't let anyone shame you. And just like that, my whole chest loosens. Validation hits like a warm blanket you didn't know you needed. She continues. But don't tell them I said this. They'll call me ungrateful too. And I laugh. A real laugh. First one in 24 hours. Because wow, family loyalty here is like a cult membership with punishments. I hang up and something settles inside me. I'm not insane. I'm not cruel. I just finally picked me. Then because life has comedic timing, my sister texts again. We're struggling to buy baby formula and you're out here chasing some fantasy degree. And I respond for the first time since the chaos started. You chose to have a child. I chose to build a life. We are both responsible for our choices. No yelling. No shaking. No panic sweat, just truth. She leaves me on scene. I love that for her. I throw my phone on the couch, stare at my half-packed suitcase, and for the first time since that dinner, I feel something powerful settle in my bones. I'm leaving. I'm going. And I'm not apologizing for wanting more. Cue slow exhale. Cue music swelling. Cue me whispering, freedom is expensive. But staying small costs more. Fade. So I left that dinner like my shoes were on fire, right? By the time I got home, I was still shaking like a chihuahua in a thunderstorm. That conversation was playing in my head on loop. Family helps family. Be grateful you even have money. Your nephew needs stability. Like I don't need stability. Like paying rent in a different city while studying doesn't count because I don't have a miniature human attached to my hip. Please, the first night I didn't sleep. I was pacing, sipping tea like it was whiskey, drafting imaginary arguments in my notes app. You know that moment where you're so angry your brain becomes a courtroom drama? Yeah. I was starring in Law & Order Dysfunctional Family Unit, and then the group chat happened. Yup. My sister starts a family group chat specifically to drag me in front of our relatives like I'm on trial. The message was basically, just so everyone knows, OP refused to help me and my baby even though they have thousands saved and don't even need it right now. She didn't use my name, but she might as well have ed me. My mom reacts with a heart emoji like she just watched a cute puppy video. My dad chimes in, it's disappointing when children forget where they came from. Excuse me? I didn't forget. I'm trying to get out. At this point, my cousin Mila jumps in. Thank God. Mila is the family's chaos fairy. Zero filter, degree in psychology she uses only to diagnose relatives at Christmas. Mila writes, so basically OP worked for 6 years while you lived at home and now you want their money? That's not family, that's freeloading. Then all hell breaks loose. Mom says Mila shouldn't disrespect a mother. Sister says Mila will change her tune when she has kids. Dad says everything is getting blown out of proportion. Meanwhile, I'm literally just watching from the sidelines like a spectator at a gladiator match. I type and erase a reply about 20 times. Eventually, I just leave the group chat. Peace out, block button moment, but it doesn't end there. Next morning, my mom shows up at my apartment. Doesn't knock. Doesn't text. No, she uses her copied spare key like she's breaking into a safe house. She marches in with that, "I'm not yelling, I'm just disappointed" energy that's way worse than actual yelling. She starts folding my laundry while lecturing me. The audacity. She goes, "We raised you to be generous. You've lost your way. Lady, I asked for tuition help for years." You know what response I got? We'll see. Suddenly, when my sister wants something, generosity becomes a moral obligation carved in stone. Glorious. Then the kicker. You don't need to live alone. You're making life harder for yourself. Yeah, because independence and education are apparently luxurious hobbies now. I stayed calm. Well, calmish. I told her I'm not giving up the money. Full stop. She left in the most dramatic fashion possible, like she was storming out of a telenovela, muttering loud enough for neighbors to hear. Then, radio silence for a week, no calls. No messages. It was suspicious. Too quiet. Like the part in a horror movie where everything goes still before the monster jumps out, and then it hits me. My sister posted about it publicly on Facebook, not directly naming me, but like, some people pretend to be successful and educated but are heartless, and don't care if a child ends up homeless, with a crying emoji collage like she's auditioning for World's Saddest Person Award, and her friends, the mom mafia, they flocked. Full moral outrage mode. That's disgusting behavior. Family is everything. You're so strong, mama. Strong? She hasn't paid rent in 2 years because she just doesn't feel like working full-time. Plot twist, though. One comment stood out, her ex. "Baby daddy. Dude usually communicates in grunts and vape clouds. But guess what he typed? Didn't OP pay your bills last summer?" Oh yes, I did. I paid her rent for 2 months when she was too overwhelmed to work. Never told anyone. Didn't brag. Just did it because I thought that's what family does. Suddenly, the Facebook warriors start backing away like roaches when the kitchen lights turn on. My sister deletes the entire post. Poof. Gone. She calls me, absolutely livid. Screaming, crying, accusing me of turning people against her, even though I said nothing. Then she drops the nuclear emotional bomb. "If my son ends up on the street, it'll be because of you." Ma'am. No. Your situation is not my responsibility because you chose not to budget, not to work, not to plan, and assumed I'd be your personal ATM forever. I hung up. Then I did something bold, or petty, or heroic. Depends who you ask. I called my parents and told them, either they stop pressuring me or I move the money into an account they can't access and cut contact for a bit. Who? Silence on the line. My dad finally goes, "We didn't realize it meant that much to you." Oh, really? What gave it away, the crying? The shaking voice? The 6-year grind? Anyway. We're currently in Cold War mode. Sisters blocked. Parents simmering. Mila sending me memes about emotional vampires. Scholarship still intact. Savings untouched. Dreams alive, and yes, I'm proud of myself. Boundaries, hard ones. It's growth season, baby, so yeah. AITA?